Hey, Tony Chips here from Chiappetta Shoes. This is Workshop Live. Today we have a D15 foot type. New customer for us, Custom Orthotics, made them about 6 weeks ago. Been doing pretty good. Really happy when she has them on, not too happy when she has them off. D15 foot type, we're dealing with some metatarsal issues, second and third metatarsal head irritation, not necessarily Morton's neuroma, kind of a general broad pain throughout the metatarsals with a focal point on the second and third metatarsal on the right foot. D15 foot type, left foot, we're dealing with some bunion irritation, arthritic kind of joint pain when she's taking a step. We're also having a little bit of arch stress, kind of going through that medial arch. Now, we have this custom orthotic. She's been really happy with them. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about metatarsal pads. Not all metatarsal pads are the same. There's 4 different styles of metatarsal pads. There's a standard metatarsal pad that's kind of anatomically correct. There's a drop metatarsal pad that's kind of equal between both sides. There is a met bar that's more of a broad approach across the whole area. And then a T form, which is a really nice form with extra longitudinal arch support. We're going to take you top down. For this customer here, we are going to do a combination. So looking at the different styles of metatarsal pads, we have a T form. That's more of a met bar with longitudinal arch support kind of going down into the middle. Standard metatarsal, anatomically correct, focusing on that first met, angling that way. A drop is more of a equal distance between left and right, and then a met bar has a more broad approach. You're looking for that even weight distribution, heel to toe, approaching all of it. For this customer here, between the left and the right, there's a little bit of a difference. We're going to do a hybrid. We're going to do a standard metatarsal pad with a little extra longitudinal arch support. Now, between the left and the right, this customer has a D15 foot type, okay? And with this foot type, we oftentimes have a little extra pronation. You're in our foot typing category, 24 different types of feet. A D15 foot type is a pretty healthy foot. I would classify a D15 foot type as somebody in the perfect foot category. And when we have a foot like this, we have a little extra pronation than average, but nothing drastic, okay? Now, we're doing a hybrid metatarsal pad. I want to do a standard metatarsal pad with a little extra longitudinal support. We're doing this for accommodation. On the right foot, we have a little extra pain and irritation on that second and third metatarsal pad. On the left foot, we have a little bit more medial stress along the medial arch. Now, looking at what we're accomplishing with this style of met pad, we could go with a traditional T form, but I'm not necessarily looking for that full met bar approach. I feel that a lot of metatarsal pads are put in the wrong spot. When we look at not necessarily over-the-counter inserts, but a lot of companies' metatarsal pads, when they do add them, they really don't understand the idea that placement is very important when we're talking about metatarsal pads. Placement of a metatarsal pad is essential for proper functioning and mechanics. And we're adding a metatarsal pad. What we're looking to accomplish is a little extra pressure, not on the second, third, and fourth knuckles of the feet, but we're looking at about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch behind that area. We're looking at adding pressure right in this zone here, okay? Now, if you see our longitudinal arch support, we're going more into that middle section, accompanying the cuneiform bones and a little bit of that edge of the cuboid there too. So, for this customer, it's always nice to get a little wear and tear on a new custom orthotic so we can kind of see exactly where we need to go. All right. What we're using in this hybrid standard metatarsal with a little extra longitudinal arch support is 3mm sponge rubber. Now, sponge rubber is a common material used in heel lifts. You get those adjustable heel lifts, and that's the same material as what we have here. This material is, it's a porous rubber. It's nice and spongy, soft, but it's still firm enough to make a difference. This customer is pretty happy with the orthotics in general. She was just mentioning after the last 6 weeks, like, hey, I'm still getting a little bit of pain and irritation. So I want to try a modification that isn't too drastic. I commonly use the gray material with this type of modification. It's a cork and rubber combination. It's sponge rubber with a little extra cork in the mix. This is the common material we use for this type of modification, but today we're going to go with a little bit softer, spongier material, just the rubber compound. So we have our glue on, and looking at the metatarsal pads that are available, a standard metatarsal pad has a anatomically correct shape where we're hitting that first met angled back to the fifth met, and it's placing itself right down the middle, and you're only trying to cover those metatarsal pads. That's a standard metatarsal. Now, a drop is really only focusing on that second and third, okay? The standard met has a little bit more natural coverage, not going too far into the fifth or the first, but a little bit more coverage for the second, third, and fourth, okay? Now, we also have a bar. Now, a bar is really giving you full coverage between the first and the fifth, and there's a number of unique reasons for that. Oftentimes with people wearing Hokas and other rocker bottom shoes, this is too much. Now, a T-form is one of my go-tos because I like the extra longitudinal arch support. You get the bar aspect, but if you taper it nicely, it's really kind of what we're doing here, where it's more of a standard met with a little extra longitudinal arch support. So there's a number of different metatarsal pads that we can have. I would advise people to stick with standard metatarsal pads because so many people are wearing rocker bottom shoes now. Doing a met bar and rocker bottom can be overkill, okay? We got our glue on here. We're gonna heat things up. Sponge rubber cures pretty quickly. This kind of material holds up nicely with wear and tear. Being a rubber compound, it can shear away over time. I would say that typical usage, if a customer has one pair of orthotics, typical usage of this is going to be a solid year, maybe even 18 months, depending on activity level and weight. But this is on the softer or lighter side for a modification material. Now we're going to apply this here. This is a pretty simple modification. We're going to take it to the grinder, do a little extra tapering, get her on her way. Bring her over to the grinder. All right. All right, so today we got a D15 foot type, little extra second and third metatarsal issues on the right side, some arch pain, medial arch pain on the left side. We have a combination standard metatarsal pad with a little extra longitudinal arch by about 3/4 of an inch, adding a little extra pressure down the middle section of the foot. Nice and easy modification, 3mm sponge rubber, soft for a modification, nice and lightweight. Hopefully this should work out and solve this customer's problems. If you have any pain or issues, make sure to check us out at chiappettashoes.com/appointments for an appointment, and we're always happy to help. Pray for all the people in LA. Hope everything's going well. Ciao.